So insyaAllah pada pagi ini saya akan berkongsi sedikit lah maklumat ataupun tips bagaimana kita nak survive dalam Viva. Tapi perlu diingatkan dalam proses PhD ni ataupun master ni, postgraduate studies ni ada banyak cabaran dan halangan. So Viva merupakan part of the process. So you tak boleh nak elokkan berkaitan dengan Viva. Okey, daripada Azratun, okey, sedang dalam proses pematangan data. Alhamdulillah, itu dah mungkin dah second last stage sebelum submit. Very good semua dalam proses. Okey, masa saya di proses PhD dahulu pun proses yang sama juga terpaksa lalui Tapi kami dulu di United Kingdom kami kena defend, bukan kena present setiap tahun sekali at least setiap tahun sekali tengok progress. So begitu juga proses di sini you kena dalam proses tu you kena the first one, you kena kalau ni you kena hadiri dahulu bank sesi ataupun proposal defense. Yang kedua you kena bentang dapatan data sebelum you dibenarkan untuk submit you punya final draft. So, kita kongsi sedikit berkaitan dengan maklumat lah. Ada tiga perkara ataupun tiga perbincangan yang akan kita gunakan pada pagi ini. The first one berkaitan dengan berkaitan dengan format bagaimana pengendalian Viva di UPSI dilaksanakan. Okey, dan yang kedua berkaitan bagaimana kita nak prepare. So, how to success. And then the last one, what we should do. Okay, itu yang kita akan bincangkan sepanjang 3 jam ni insyaAllah. Jadi kita akan berkongsi. So, pelajar juga boleh asking question during the session. Tak perlu nak tunggu di end of the session. So, kita boleh kalau ada persoalan boleh bangkitkan semasa sesi ataupun boleh dibangkitkan selepas sesi. Okay, the first one adalah berkaitan dengan ini. Boleh nampak dia punya slide Semua boleh nampak slide? Boleh betul? Alhamdulillah. Okay, ini merupakan salah satu tentatif Okay, kita lihat the first one. Berkaitan dengan sebar ringkas berkaitan dengan introduction to discourse. The first one, discourse is primarily designed for research students who are currently preparing for the Viva examination. So we to specifically set up design discourse for postgraduate students, especially for those who are from research students. So it offers practical advice on how to prepare for the Viva and give an insight into what's happened during the Viva examination. So we try to give as much as possible some of the experience by our examiners. So by me, for example, myself, and other friends about how to success. So what we should do, what we should prepare. So before, during, and after the Viva actually. So by the end of this course, you should be able to the first one identify what examiners are looking for when they are examining a thesis. So this one is allow you to try to predict, to try to look some sort of the question that used to be asked by examiners. So during the Viva session, the second one, so discuss the many ways that others can support preparation. So they have many ways that you can use to prepare by your own, or maybe you can ask for your friend to ask help from your friend to support your preparation. The third one, explore valuable Viva preparation methods and establish realistic expectation for the Viva. So for this course, it allow you to establish what the realistic expectation for the Viva, what you dream of, and then what the reality you have to face during the Viva session. The next one, discuss a common question about the PhD Viva and Master Viva. So, actually, has some a little slightly different between Viva between PhD and master degree. So we are going to discuss this one shortly. Okay, this is how I wrote to PhD. Yeah. For example, maybe for those who already so they are about to submit the Viva, so you have to come to the end of the journey. Yeah. So yeah, so of course you might have okay before you do your PhD, you have very good perception. So PhD okay would be a very smooth journey, for example, but in reality it's very tough. So you ini yang berlaku sebenarnya masa you submit proposal ataupun submit proposal untuk kemasukan ke UPSI, majoriti daripada pelajar assume okay PhD is not a very tough process. So some sort of a student they feel like that. Okay, actually PhD memang satu proses yang begitu kita panggil begitu tough. Reality tidak semua kandidat ataupun calon PhD mempunyai pengalaman yang sama. So, ada pengalaman PhD student yang cantik, bagus, okay, straight line, straight fast. So, ada yang berliku-liku. So, they have okay more kita panggil halangan. Okay, constraint. From one constraint to another constraint. So, some student, they have no problem. So, that very, very few yang berhadapan dengan isu-isu ini. Sebaliknya majoriti, even pelajar postgraduate master pun so menghadapi situasi yang sama. Sebab PhD ni ataupun postgraduate student mode B atau mode C ni bergantung kepada anda semua. So supervisor hanya memainkan peranan sebagai guide, okay, assist you about the topic. You are the one so who supposed to learn everything. So from A to Z. Actually, this is a PhD or master degree all but it's allowed you. So the PhD ataupun master program, so kita design untuk nak prepare kandidat ataupun calon ataupun pelajar berkaitan dengan how to do a research. So scientific research means that you need to go through some sort of the process in terms of scientific process. So before you come out with your own solid result, itu yang kita cuba design. So majoriti semua berliku-liku dan ada juga keadaan di mana sebelum submit final exam, so you need to revise berapa terlalu banyak kita panggil final draft. So daripada the first one mungkin first draft, second draft, third draft, dalam kes ini you tengok terlalu banyak draft yang you terpaksa hadapi. Dan begitu juga dengan pensyarah ataupun penyelia, mereka terpaksa spend masa yang untuk membaca ataupun untuk komen berkaitan dengan draft-draft yang diberikan. So tugas ini memang tough sebab majoriti kebanyakan penyelia cuba nak minimize berkaitan dengan persoalan yang akan ditimbulkan semasa Viva. Bermaksud bahawa majoriti penyelia nak cuba minimize atau semua soalan-soalan utama dalam Viva ada dinyatakan di dalam tesis. Jadi semasa Viva tidak banyak persoalan yang perlu dijawab oleh calon. Itu pengalaman. Setengah penyelia setengah pelajar kemungkinan revision draft tu terlalu singkat. Maksudnya tidak terlalu banyak. Setengah pensyarah ataupun setengah pelajar mempunyai terpaksa lalui pelbagai final revision 8, 9, 10, 11 sebelum dibenarkan untuk submit. Sebab PhD ni di antara pelajar dengan pensyarah. So semua pelajar perlu diingatkan bahawa pensyarah ataupun penyelia membenarkan anda menghantar, bermaksud bahawa itu merupakan last stage itu sebagai calon ataupun sebagai pelajar. Jadi kalau boleh cuba bentukkan hubungan yang baik antara pensyarah dengan ataupun antara penyelia dengan pelajar. Okey. Itu dalam kes banyakkan kes dalam kes kadang-kadang kes penyelia terpaksa mengambil masa yang lama untuk nak revise you punya draft. Jadi itu satu perkara yang normal lah. Okay, so
Doktor,
ya.
sorry doktor, kita ada pelajar international daripada China.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So, sama. Okay, submitting your PhD thesis, okay, seem a massive achievement. So, once you submit your thesis, means that, so you already, okay, been half of the process. So, a massive achievement. So, yet, it's not the end of the journey for doctoral student. For postgraduate or doctoral student, it's not your journey is not end yet. Okay, once you submit your thesis, this first half. Your leg already first. So you manage to submit the thesis, this okay. The next question, the next step is you have to wait for another response from the examiner. So once you have submitted, you will need to prepare for the next hurdle, in which your thesis will be assessed or examined verbally or orally by external or internal examiners, what we call in Viva voucher, okay? Viva session. These are the first Viva session. Atau Viva voucher, you have to, your thesis should be examined or assessed by examiners verbally or orally, meaning that you have to face with examiners. Some examiners, they are very good. Some examiners, they are actually all of the examiners, they try to help you to improve the way you present your data, the way you present your idea in your thesis. So in simple terms, the Viva examination is where you will give a verbal defense of your thesis. So during the Viva session, it's allowed you to defend your thesis whenever possible. Maybe some of the point you highlighted in your thesis are not really clear, so you will be asked by examiners to explain, to make very to clear any point that they are going to ask you. This is the standard procedure. Viva means that you have to defend your own idea in front of examiners. This is the Viva. They will ask you some question, something related to your thesis, but some might not related to your thesis. So the purpose of the Viva examination is the first one, we try to demonstrate that the thesis is your own work. This is the main purpose of your thesis, of your Viva. So the main purpose of the Viva, we want to know whether the thesis comes from your own idea. So if your ideas have been throughout in your thesis, means that there shouldn't be a problem. But some people, maybe they are not really clear about the thesis. So there's some strike from other ideas from other studies, and this might have a problem during the Viva session. If the idea comes from your own, so you don't need to worry all about. The second one, confirm that you understand what has been written and can defend it verbally. So the first, in terms of your thesis, come your own idea. The second one is allow you confirm that you can understand what you have written. So what has been written in the thesis, from word by word, you have to understand. So this is the purpose of the examiner. Try to examine, okay, try to look at any sentence, and they will ask you to make sure that all the words from the thesis come from your own side, okay. The third one, investigate your awareness of where your original work sits in relation to the wider research field of studies. So meaning the third one, they try to investigate, the examiner tries to investigate about whether you are aware or not about what is the current situation of your topics. Is your topic already been done by other studies, or widely been widely researched, or not widely been explored by other scholars. So this is you have to make sure that you're already aware about your topics, where your topic. The next one is establish whether the thesis is sufficiently high standard to meet the level of degree for which it is submitted. We try to establish whether the thesis submitted by student actually up to the PhD up to master degree standard. This is the purpose. And allow you, the last one but not least, allow you to clarify and develop the written thesis in response to examiner's question. The last one is allow you to clarify or to defend. So whenever possible, when you are asked to answer any question from the examiners. This is the purpose of the thesis. So once you have, you write the thesis and then you have to defend. If they ask you, so you need to defend. So you defend depends on, okay, sometimes you have to defend, sometimes you have to, what we call, we will discuss shortly about sometimes you have to defend your thesis, sometimes you have to let it go. Okay. So actually Viva practice, in general, Viva practice differ, okay, very from countries to another country. For example, for Malaysia and United Kingdom, this is compulsory. So Viva is compulsory. So you are not going to be awarded PhD without having a Viva. This for example in the United Kingdom and Malaysia. So we have to sit for the Viva. But some other countries, for example Australia, so there is a very few have to attend Viva because the thesis PhD, the examiner will assess thesis PhD and they will give the result. So without asking candidate to defend, to sit for the Viva. But there are very few cases, okay? For example, in borderline cases, okay, they will ask a student to sit for the Viva. Most study who doing PhD in Australia, so their thesis will be assessed throughout, okay, from chapter 1 up to chapter final chapter. So they have no need to defend, they need to go for the Viva. So this is in Australia case. But some in the European countries, so their public defense against adversary, okay, is more common. Okay, the thesis may be in form, okay, in the form of small volume of published paper. For example, if you are doing PhD in Sweden, in Germany, for example, in Finland, so the thesis is about you compress, okay, about your paper, how many paper you already published. So during the PhD process, and then you do just you need to summarize for every papers in the form of thesis. It's about 50 to 40 to 50 pages. So very small. So compared to Malaysia, compared to United Kingdom, they have a lot of process. But in the Europe, for example, if you already publish the papers, so you are actually in a good position to have a PhD degree. Okay, so this one, okay, Viva practice practice are the Viva practice format. For UPSI, Viva practice format, okay, the first one, for OC common practice, you need to have problem statement. So during the Viva session, so what you need to prepare is about the first one, problem statement. The second one, objective and research question. The third one, conceptual framework and methodology. And the last one, main finding of the thesis. This is the common format, okay, used by UPSI. So they have at least 4 main ideas. So how you should present your thesis. So the first one, your thesis, your presentation should consist of problem statement. So pernyataan masalah. The second one, objective and research question. So from the problem statement, how you come up with objective, okay, and research question. The next one, conceptual framework and methodology of the study. And the last one, the main finding of your, not all finding, but the main finding that you are going to highlight during the Viva session. Not try not to present all the results. You are the one who know which point you need to present, which result you need to present. Okay, this is the common practice. So maybe you will be some friendly reminder by UPSI. So prior to the Viva session, for example, what kind of test, what kind of slide you need to defend, what kind of slide what kind of topic you need to include in the presentation. So for this one, because we are focused on this 14 because you are given about 15 minutes, maximum 20 minutes for the presentation. So you can imagine, you spend about 4 years or 3 years for your PhD journey, and you are given about 20 minutes to present your thesis, meaning that you have to find so which point you need should be included in the presentation. Okay, this is the common format. Okay, used by UPSI. The next thing is about okay for UPSI, who actually is involved in the thesis. UPSI, for example, we have the first one, chairperson, pengerusi. So chairperson is the one who just play moderate, okay, moderator between examiners and candidates. The second one, we have internal examiners. So for UPSI, we have two internal examiners, and we have also external examiners. For PhD student, for external examiner, should have one full professor. Okay, and another two, they have at least associate professor. So these external examiners. Some external examiners come from overseas. So some from local. We are mixed. Okay, and they are also dean representative. So this is the maybe supervisors. Supervisors are okay allowed to join the Viva session, but they have no power to intervene during the Viva session. So during the Viva session, only external, internal, and student so can talk, they can discuss. Even dean representative, so they have no power. So chairperson just play a moderator, so allow you to balance. If there is argument between students and examiners, so they play a moderator to cool down. This is the process. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 case. For external, they have internal, they have two internal. External, they have three for PhD. For master, they have two. And also students. So most examiners we try okay to put candidates at least at the start of their vivas and likely to establish a good level rapport okay in order to help you to perform at your best. So mostly as examiners, so they try to make you happy. So during the viva session, they not try to make you okay to make some put some pressures on you. This is not the way they it's not the way they act. Okay, mostly examiners, they will help you to make you so you enjoy during your viva session. Okay, so during the viva session, actually the viva session, how long the viva session? So it's between some duration of the viva. Okay, very typically take between 2 and 4 hours. But for UPSI, we also experience okay some of the viva session only take 1 hours. So mostly between 2 and 4 hours in the viva session. The presentation is only a small part of the viva session. The rest come from the Q&A. So if your thesis are very good, meaning that you might might receive a very small number of questions from both examiners and internal and external. But your thesis not really good, meaning that so you might expect there are many questions come from those examiners. So the 4 hours is seems to be sufficient to complete. Normally, okay, between 10 to 2 o'clock, sometime in the morning, sometime in the afternoon, depends on the availability of the examiners. So during the Viva session, actually you can ask, since it take about 2 to 4 hours, means that you can ask to get some rest or to take for a break, okay, during the Viva session. You are allowed to do so. So try to ask chairperson, okay, so you need to take a break, okay, it's allowed. Okay, the Viva, okay, because, okay, much anxiety to research student or scary enough way. This the Viva, so, of course. even you already you've been through the process, meaning that you're already expert in your thesis, your topic, because you've been through for three, two to 2 to 4 years, so you already okay explore. So any possible uh, any possible outcomes. So any possible issues related to the thesis, but some student, most of the student, they still scary, okay? They still worry about the Viva. Where the most question they ask to supervisor is the Viva, is their thesis up to PhD, up to master degree standard. Is the what we call the question used to be asked to supervisor. You know, so for me, once the supervisor allow you to submit, means that your thesis is up to the PhD standards. Okay, this is from my own experience. Okay, so if they are very, if two students actually they are very scary. Okay, for example, they are so anxiety about how to they prepare the Viva. This is the course that you need to attend. So it's because it will share something that you should do. So what you should do, what you should do. So and then how can a PhD student best prepared? This is the topic we are arguing. Because some of students have okay successfully defended their thesis, by a few are not. So some students they manage to success, okay, they manage to defend the Viva, okay, successfully, but few students they fail to do so. So of course, why this should be the case? So how can you best prepare? So what the best thing you need to do to prepare? So you need to once you submit your thesis, so you need to spend the duration, the gap between the thesis and the Viva. You need to spend the whole weeks, the whole month for the Viva, or you what the best for you to
Doktor, nak tanya soalan, Doktor.
Okay, boleh ya.
Doktor, katakanlah kita on the way kita nak tunggu Viva tu kan. So
Yeah.
kita prepare, lepas tu kita baca-baca dan kita masuk lagi bengkel-bengkel untuk mantapkan kita punya analisis semua kan.
Ya.
Tiba kita dapat tahu ada certain part kita macam lag. Kita macam dah tahu benda tu, alamak ni salah. Contohlah, tapi thesis kita ni dah hantar. Macam
Ya.
mana doktor kalau macam tu terjadi waktu Viva, macam mana kita nak cakap dekat panel tu bahawa kita dah tahu benda tu, kita rasa dah macam salah lah mungkin, tapi kita nak betulkan dia dalam waktu Viva tu.
Okay, dia kes
Betul,
macam ni
Doktor.
memang berlaku.
Okay.
Okay, maksud dia, okay, once you dah submit, tiba-tiba you pergi, okay, conference, ataupun you pergi mana-mana bengkel, tiba-tiba baru you okay, notice, oh, something happened to my thesis, okay. I forgot, for example, okay, to highlight this issue, for example. Okay, itu perkara yang normal. Apa yang you perlu lakukan, kita akan bincangkan kemudian. Secara umum, apa yang perlu lakukan,
baik,
okay, jangan highlight isu tersebut dalam Viva. Biarkan.
Okay, baik. Okay.
Let the examiner find out. Okay. Kita akan bincangkan kemudian, okay, dalam slide yang seterusnya. Good question.
Okay, doktor. Terima kasih, doktor. Okay.
So for this, they have a number of tips provided by academician and some Viva survivors. Masa saya kes dulu, selepas kita submit, okay, saya attend banyak kursus Viva, okay, dan juga sharing knowledge daripada kawan-kawan yang lepas, okay. But for this one, so I just get some information. So from the academician and some from Viva survivors, how they survive. So how the students survive the Viva. So from this one, we try to also, I'm going to share with you about some of the tips used by academician. So they wrote as examiners and some Viva students, how they manage. So their time to prepare the Viva. This is the first one. Okay. So for this course, we try the first one before what you should do before the Viva, and then what you should do during the Viva days, and then after the Viva day, are you going to go back to before the Viva? Are you going to the second stage? So after the Viva days, meaning that, so it depends. So if you have a very good thesis, so you might have a minor correction. You don't need to go, okay, to the first stage. You might go to the second stage, for example. But some student, they have to do all over again. This depends on the even your thesis. Some thesis the return is very good. So but in terms of defend, they cannot defend their thesis. So because the thesis or the PhD or the master degree journey is depends on you and your supervisor. It's subjective. So if you have, for example, so you are good. So this is about the matching process. So sometimes you might have, okay, you might get a very good supervisor, but some supervisor, okay, even they are good, but they might have, okay, uh, not a very good candidate for them. So if you are a very good candidate, but at the same time you're matching with a very good supervisor, it's very good. But it's that one is very tough. So it's quite difficult to match between your attitudes, between your expectation and supervisor expectation, because it's subjective. So we cannot compare the objective for master degree, for mode A, for example, mode C, for example, this objective. So easy for us to mark, okay, to give the verdicts. From PhD, the verdicts depends on the way you defend your proposal, the way you defend your thesis, not the way you write your thesis, but the way you defend your thesis. Okay, now we are going to the second part. So what is the tip for you to survive the Viva? Okay, before the Viva workshop. Okay, this is what were some tips I get from information from academician, from internet, from students who just pass the Viva. Okay, there are 1, 2, 3. There are many tips that you could use. The first one, before the Viva, what you might do, the first one, you have to plan towards the Viva exam. So from the moment you know the date for your Viva, so work backwards and plan the steps you will need to take before the date itself. Normally, IPS, okay, will send a letter to candidates about the Viva dates, 1 month or 2 months. So before the Viva day. So maybe this allow you to prepare. So they will give you about 3 months, at least 3 months, for you to prepare the Viva. So they don't give you short notice. You don't worry. So this allow you to enough time for you to assess and review your work. So that as the day approaches, okay, you can focus on the practicalities. So this is you need the first one. You need to have times and dates for the Viva. So this will be given by IPS. Okay, this encompasses everything from making sure you relax, eat and sleep well the day before getting to the Viva room on time. Make sure before the Viva day you have your energy is very good. So you are so excited to join, so eager to enter the Viva room. So this have to plan everything. You have to plan in terms of your, maybe you have some people they used to plan in terms of they are going for exercise. Okay, they want to relax themselves, okay, because they already been through for 4 years. They want to take some rest, for example, and then they can prepare for the Viva session, for the Viva day, 2 or 3 weeks before the Viva start. So some for your PSI and online PhD Viva will become more common, okay, at the moment. So ensure your working space is reasonable and manageable. Depends. So some faculties at UPSI, so they manage, okay, they try to arrange Viva online, okay. Some faculties they prefer face-to-face Viva. So face-to-face Viva is okay, but if online, you have to make sure everything you have a working space is in a very good condition, in terms of internet connection, in terms of laptop and everything. Make sure everything is working all the condition. So for UPSI, for faculty, our faculty, so we prefer, for me, so we prefer to have online Viva. Depends. With student from overseas, we prefer to do Viva through online platform. But if they are from local students, from local students, so we prefer to have face to face. because there are some constraint. So some instances if we use, for example, online. So it depends. You can ask IPS. Okay. The second one, you need to reread your thesis again and again and again, from page 1 up to final page of your thesis. So prior to the Viva day, you should read through your thesis 2 or 3 times. Some students, they read more than 3 times. So make sure you know everything about your thesis from chapter 1, chapter 2 up to chapter 5. Why you should this thesis, why you should this project. So why you should focus on this kind of issues. Okay, why you use this method. So how many alternative method available. So in order to answer your research question, you have to understand about your thesis. So you should read the thesis again, even you have prepared so for 4 years, been prepared for 4 years, but you cannot ignore this kind of tips. You need to read. So don't worry if you might probably notice some small errors that you have not picked up before. It's a fairly common. No problem. When you read your thesis is not it's not Al-Quran. Al-Quran is perfect, so there is no mistake. So in the Quran, but for thesis, of course, there's a lot of mistake. So some have a major mistake, some minor mistake. So, but if you read your thesis and you notice something wrong, so you just take notice, about what notice some small errors that you have not picked up before. So you have to aware about this one. Just take note about the what would be the answer. So the what we call the possible answer, how to address this kind of issues. If you notice, some errors. These are common practice. Common issues experienced by PhD or master degree students. Okay. The third one, simple, make a list that you can take to the Viva to show the examination, examiners, if appropriate. The third one, maybe once you read your thesis, you can make a list that you can take to the Viva, to show to the examiner if appropriate. Means that if you examiner ask you, so if examiners, for example, they notice about there are some mistake from your thesis, so you are ready to respond to the question. Don't ask. So don't show any mistake that you notice aware in your thesis during the Viva session. Let the examiner find out what would be the mistake. Sometimes they're not aware about the mistake. So it's not good for you to raise this kind of issues. You just take note. What page? What kind of mistake that you do? So how you respond? Just prepare. So in your mind. It might help you to mark key section with calorie, kalau proceed norm. So maybe you can use proceed, pad, try to highlight. This section more towards what? Research problem, research question, or how you respond, for example. This is the way most students, when they bring their thesis, so you can see there are a lot of proceed, in their thesis. This is a common practice. Don't suppress. But because different students, they have different approach how to prepare for on the Viva session. So the next one, you will need to think carefully about where the thesis original piece of work would be placed in the context of wider body of research carried out in this study. So you need to understand also, once you read your thesis, you need to be careful. So the original of the thesis. So which part of the original your thesis come from? Is that your original thesis come from the problem statement, or come from the methodology, or come from the research question, or just come from the data, for example? For my case, so when they have many studies have been done with respect to my PhD issues. So, but in terms of data, in terms of sampling, so there has no study have been done in Malaysia or in developing countries. So you need to prepare everything. So these are the original piece of your thesis. So even the issues already been explored by many researchers, but in terms of sampling, for example, they might have something new about the result. So that's why the thesis, okay, so the contribution of the thesis might come from the first one, methodology. Okay, maybe you use current methodology. The second one might come from the sampling framework, okay, or sampling. Why you eager to use this kind of sample instead of other studies? Use this sample. Whether this sample, if you use this sample, for example, is the result similar to the other studies? And that's the issues. So you are the one who know everything about the contribution of your thesis. Finally, think about where the research could be taken next. Okay, either by you or future researcher. This one mostly in chapter 5. So what you're going to bring this thesis in the future. So is there any good future for this kind of thesis, or maybe you might provide some for future research. In the end, you might propose some study why this should be the case. Some during the Viva session, for example, there are some experience by candidates. So they propose for the next research. So what you net researcher should do or net PhD student should do, and then you have to be aware. Some examiners they will ask, if this were the case, why did you not explore this kind of future research in your studies? You have to be aware, okay, about the last one. So think about just propose, discuss about this case. Okay, since this kind of thesis, the result good, so maybe you want to, for example, transfer your skill, transfer the skill, transfer the knowledge to other. So maybe you can provide some opportunities for other researchers to do their research in the future. Okay. Then the most important is don't avoid reading your thesis again and again. Even you know everything from page 1 to page 50, last page. Okay, the second one, this is a very important. The second one, learn about your examiner's own work. And this is important. So ask your supervisor, the first one, you need to understand who, you need to know and understand about the way your examiners work. So before you submit your thesis, maybe some supervisors, they discuss with their candidates, their supervisor, who would be the examiners. So some students they can propose, examiners. It depends on supervisor whether they're willing to accept. Because supervisor also they have their own criteria to find or to get any examiners that are related to the topic. So you need to ask supervisors about who is your external or internal, because you need this kind of information. You need to get the information about the examiners in terms of examiners area of interest and their work in terms of so what kind of paper so they used to publish. So and then you need to read their papers, the examiners paper. So once you know the examiners, name of examiners, you need to understand about the way your examiners so explore. So any ideas that so in the paper, in the published paper. Some examiners, they might focus on the papers more towards, for example, methodology part. Some examiners, they focus in terms of the focus on problem statement, research question, and some examiners, most of the journal published by examiners, maybe they focus on data per se. So you need to understand what kind of area of expert so among your examiners. So from this, you should be able to gain a better idea of their motivation, their possible views on your thesis, and the kinds of question that might wish to discuss after having carried throughout the thesis, the journal. So you need to ask, and then you need to get the information to try to print out any journal publication by examiners, and then try to read. So what kind of ideas that they stress on the thesis. This is very, very, very important. If your examiner, for example, they're more in their published paper, so they're more focused on methodology, meaning that you need to be prepared. So try to focus, more on methodology part. They might have many questions come from this that chapter. Okay, check to see if any relevant research paper have emerged, okay, since submitting the thesis, and if so, okay, read this. Okay, you have to also, once you submit your thesis, so you have also to aware about there might be some recent paper that related to your thesis. So if this were the case, maybe you could read, okay, the paper. It's like you to give some idea how the paper, how your topic so has been discussed. So in the academic platform. Okay, but you have to remember, you should remember that they are still likely to be the expert in the room on this particular topic. Even you can read your examiner's work, but you have to make sure so you have been through this process, this topic for 3 to 4 years, meaning that you are really expert. So in this kind of topics, so in the Viva room. So you have to play your own role. Don't try to make a case as a minor script play their own. So you are the one try to convince as a minors about the topic. So because the examiner only have maybe 1 or 2 or 3 months to read your thesis, but you have been through for 4 years, 3 years, just to do this kind of specific topic. Okay. The third one about the tips is about anticipate the Viva question. So you might anticipate, okay, the Viva question. You might expect, okay, some of the Viva question, okay, should come from examiners. So this is so when you're getting ready for the Viva, consider the type of question you are likely to be asked. So this is normal. When you read the Viva for your thesis, you might expect, okay, this question might be asked by examiners. When you read their journal publication topic, so you might have some idea about some. They might have some question should come from different chapters. So you have to anticipate. So the Viva question. So considering the question in advance will add you to, okay, your confidence, as you will be less likely to be taken by surprise. You have to anticipate. Normally, we will discuss what kind of question so used to be asked by by examiners. Okay, many websites available, okay, offering a short question that are likely to be raised by your examiners regardless of specificity of your topic. So it doesn't matter whether you come from social science, you come from the science stream, you come from economics, you come from, okay, human resource, so you come from physics, chemistry, and any other field of study, it doesn't matter. The question actually a very standard question. So used to be asked by examiners. Don't worry. So the question will be, okay, based on your thesis. Most of the question asked by examiners actually come from your thesis. When they read your thesis, so they have some time so to maybe if they notice some issue related to your topic, okay, they will ask you during the Viva session in terms of what it's about, so what you did, what you found out, okay, and why this matter in relation to your field of study. So this some sort of question. So normally will be asked by examiners. What is about your thesis, for example? How you come up with this kind of topic in your thesis? There are many topics available for this uh, topic, and then how suddenly you come up with this specific topic? So you need to understand some question come from the problem statement. Okay, most question come from the chapter 1 and chapter 3. Many question. So come from chapter 1, especially problem statement and research question and methodology part. This is chapter 1 and chapter 3 is very important. You need to be master in these 2 chapters. So it can be helpful to practice your answer beforehand. Also, you can practice with your friend. You can ask your friend to become your examiners. Okay, and sometimes you become your you play a role as examiners. Okay, just to make you to avoid you, okay, feeling inconvenience during the Viva session. You can practice with your friend. Okay, there are some sort of question asked by examiners. The first one in terms of general question. So some examiners they will ask you general question more okay, about your thesis. The second one specific question. The third one, broader issues. The general question mostly come from the chapter 1, for example. Okay, specific might come from the chapter 1 and chapter 3. And broader issues normally come from the chapter 5. About your conclusion, about your summarize. So, what you going to bring this thesis in the topic in the future. This is some sort of the question. Normally, we can divide it into 3 categories: general, specific, and broader issues. So in terms of general question, so the general question often, okay, based on this initial small talk, okay, it is likely to be fairly general in nature, such as, okay, general question very general. So in terms of your field of study, in terms of where do you work, in terms of why you doing your PhD. So and then, for example, why you choose this topic for your doctoral study, for your master degree study, why they have many topics available. So in this kind of uh, in the issues, and then suddenly you come out with this topic. So, is there any uh, information you would like to share with us why you choose this topic, for example, and then how did you develop an interest of this topic? So this more toward chapter 1. So in terms of research background, so try to find out. So what is your research background? From the research background, it allow you to explore the problem statement. So how did you develop an interest of this topic? So in what way? Why you so keen, so eager to study this topic? So you need to answer. You need to respond. And then what motivated you to do this research in this area? Okay, this is some sort of the question, general question. Okay, mostly come from chapter 1. So you have to get some picture about this kind, how to respond to this kind of question. Okay, and then we'll go for specific questions, soalan khusus. So for specific question, possibly on a very particular part of the thesis, in which case examiner should provide page references and give you time to look up, okay, the reference. So for specific question, maybe supervisor or examiners will ask you to refer to specific page. Okay, for example, okay, methodology, okay, page, okay, chapter 3, okay, page 100. So, okay, you wrote this one, blah, 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 blah. Can you explain more detail, for example? Okay, use, okay, to come from the literature review, the methodology parts, and the findings. And this, okay, the specific question normally come from this kind, okay, some from literature review. Literature will allow you to find any gap between the previous and your current research. How you compile. So how you end up with your research with respect to previous studies. So how you come out with your own research, or maybe come from the methodology. So maybe some student, some topic they have many methodology could be used. Okay, you can use, for example, okay, in PhD we have the quantitative method or qualitative method. Some they use mixed method, or some they use, for example, okay, PLS. Some they use SAM. So you need to identify why you prefer to use, for example, PLS over SEM. Why you use, for example, regression instead of ANOVA. So you need to be aware. So be clear about this one. So that's why you have to read your thesis. So why this method, the chosen method, is very good compared to alternative method. Meaning that you have to also explore other alternative method that you might use, okay, as a backup for your main method. From my point of view, so my own experience, so even I use the first one, I use first method. So I also discuss about the second method. I already prepared for the alternative method, but not presented in the thesis. So I told my examiners when they ask me, okay, why you use this method. Actually, they have 2 or 3 methods, okay, that you could use for your thesis, and then suddenly you use method A. I told my examiners, actually, I already explored another method. So but the result actually totally similar. So in terms of the sign, in terms of the coefficient significant, or in terms of the relationship, the difference is only about the different in the or the magnitude of the effects. That's it. So this is the way how we respond. So you need meaning that you need to explore also another method, but not to try alternative method in your thesis. Okay, maybe some from the findings. So your finding, okay, blah 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 blah, this one okay, but most of the finding from previous study, so contrast to your study, how you justify your finding. This okay, specific question. Okay. For example, okay, the literature review, for example, the examiners want to know your understanding or your ability to critically evaluate, okay, research in the field, okay, as the literature can, okay. So most students, okay, when they do the research literature review, they used to compile what have been done in the past. This is from so some of the businesses of our postgraduate students. So they used to compile. So studies from the previous researcher in terms of finding, in terms of methodology. So they have no idea how to critique. So how to what we call to critically analyze about what has been done in the past, and then how past study will contribute to your current studies. This is the big issues experienced by our postgraduate student. Okay, so the literature even the examiners want to know your understanding, your ability to critically evaluate the research in terms of bring, clarify, and focus to your research problem, improve your research methodology, so broaden your knowledge, okay, based on your research area and the conceptual, okay, your finding. Actually, for PhD or for master degree, you start your journey with chapter 2 actually, literature review, because the literature review allow you to find any gaps, any problem, any background of study. So, and then the literature review also provides some method used in the past. This is the first step, first stage for most PhD or most postgraduate students. They will start with chapter 2, not chapter 1, not chapter 3, chapter 4. So, in order to do your research, you need to explore. So, some topic, whether the topic is already been in the past or not uh, uh, explored yet. You this is the chapter 2 all about. So you need to understand about your chapter 2. Okay, and then from the methodology, for example, why did you choose that particular design? What are its limitation? You need to also understand about your strength of your methodology, and then is there any limitation with respect to your chosen methodology? So how did you ensure against bias? This bias. If you use this kind of method, how you avoid bias compared to other methods? Okay, compared to PLS or SEM or other methods, how you come out to avoid from bias issues with respect to this kind of method? And then what is the link with your research question? How you link the research question? Why you use this method? Is the method allow you to answer all the research question or not? Or maybe your research question is allow you to use this method and not allow you to use another method. You have to understand. So be clear. So in your mind, you need to link with your research question and objective or methodology you use. For example, if your research question is about to find relationship, for example, and suddenly you use, for example, SEM or PLS. So whether this kind of method allow you to answer the research question, or you might use different wrong method so to answer or your research question. How did you answer the validity and reliability of the research question? This is how the validity means that you need to you need to also to have some alternative method, okay, before you write your thesis. Before you choose the best method, you need to explore some other methods that might use in your thesis. And then detailed question about your sample, method of analysis, and many things. So some specific questions also come from the method in terms of sampling framework. So how you this kind of sample, how you select the sample. So and then sometimes sample subject to sample selection bias because different sample. So if you sample subject to sample selection bias, the result might not useful. This is the methodology. Okay, and then the last one maybe come from the findings in terms of consistency of the findings, robustness of the result, reliability of the result. This is the finding in terms of consistent, whether the finding consistent with previous studies or not. Even they use the same method, okay, but the finding is that consistent, similar to previous finding, or totally contrast. If similar is okay, but if contrast, how you justify? So what are the factors that might contribute? So your results compared to previous result. This might come from the literature review, part 2. Okay, robustness of the result. Robustness means that, okay, your result is robust. Even you use different method, the result is similar. Okay, you might have the same result if you use different method. This is what we call robustness. Instead, if you use, for example, okay, you use PLS, this one, okay, result is okay, but if you use SAM, so the variable interest totally different, okay, from the one you got from PLS, you need to, is what we call not robust. So, maksudnya, result tu bergantung kepada, okay, the result not depends on the method used. The result should robust. So, which method you use should provide, okay, the result should be similar. Okay, the third one in terms of reliability of the result. Reliability, kau boleh percayaan result. Okay, you need also the result, okay, should, okay, reliable. So it should be compared with other result, okay, should reliable before you should be tested, okay. In terms of what we call diagnostic, okay, testing. Reliable means diagnostic testing. Just consider, okay, for example, in economy, for example, in business or economic, for example, we need to go through some sort of the diagnostic. So in terms of normal distribution, in terms of everything. So these are the result. So the reliability of the result. So you should do in your thesis. These are 3 different things that should be asked by examiners. Okay, this one, consistency of the result. So robustness of the result, reliability of the result. Make sure your thesis consists of your result in chapter 4 should consistent, okay, with previous study. So your result should robust. Means that, so whenever whatever you use any method, so they might have, okay, similar result. Okay, in terms of sign, in terms of relationship, in terms of everything. Maybe the difference should come from the magnitude, okay, of the effect, for example, okay, magnitude of the coefficient. That one could be different. Okay, and then in terms of reliability of the result, okay, you should also concern. Meaning that your result, before you discuss your result, once you get the result, so before you discuss the result, for example, okay, you need to test. So in terms of normality, in terms of error and everything. So that nobody can question. So the reliability of the result. Okay. And then in terms of broader issues, okay, broader issues normally come from chapter 5. Okay, how does your research contribute to the field of study? Okay, what are the real world application of your research? If you had to start the thesis again, what would you do differently? So, what are your plans for the futures and how does your finding apply to your current issue? These are the broader issues. So, you also have to be aware about your output, about your result. So, whenever possible, should be applied. So, in the real world. So, whether in terms of, if the sign is okay, no problem. For the sign, science stream, the result in terms of the product. So, if you come from the social science, maybe the result should be applied in terms of the, for example, you already develop the research question or the instrument. For example, used also might be used by private sector, by government or everything. So you need to aware, you need to bring the result so in your real world. So if let's say if I were a practice, I were a firm, so could I apply your results in my firm? This is the thing that you need also to understand about not only specific to your own topics, but also in terms of broader issues outside the topic that any examiners could ask you, the broader issues. This allow you to, because they want to test you whether you are aware with the current situation in the real world. Okay, and then the next tip is about understand what expected of you. So the chair of the Viva is usually the chairperson, who is independent person. We already discussed, the role of the chairperson, just independent person. He are the moderate. So try to moderate, between you and your examiners. So the examiner's main objective is to ascertain that you have written your own thesis. So if you have and already to talk through how you completed it, there is no need to panic. Means that the main objective for the examiners is they try to develop whether the thesis come from your own. If this were the case, if your thesis maybe also of course come from your own idea, come from your own, so your sentence come from your own, for example, so you don't need to worry about, because some at the moment we have many what we call many software. For example, we have many AI software. So chat GPT and many things, they have so allow students to write the thesis using AI. This we need to be aware about this one. So because something subject related to what we call plagiarism, something related to in issues, you have to be aware. If you, so I encourage my student, try to write their own. So if the idea come from their own, so there shouldn't be a problem. Okay. So apart from assessing your thesis, the examiner also there to help you to improve your argument or presentation of your thesis. So just be prepared to take any advice. Meaning that you have to what expected of you. The first one you might get some advice. You might willing to accept any advice from the examiners, because those of examiners they want to improve the way you present your ideas in the thesis, because your thesis might be used, might become a reference so for future generation or future student. That's why they want to improve the way you present your idea, the way you present your result in your thesis, so that they try to minimize so any mistake that available. Because your thesis, once you submit your thesis, so means that there is no chance for you to do some correction, even the final draft. So that's why they want to make sure everything. So about your thesis actually is free from any major mistake. So because the thesis will be used by next student, but will be put in place in library. For example, you have to make sure this is the role of the examiners. Okay, the next part is about result will be made upon condition that a number of minor corrections are made. With a resubmission request of far less. This is the thing that you have to expect. From the during the from the Viva. Meaning that you have to expect. In terms of the verdict of the Viva. There are some value of the Viva. There's the first one. Minor correction. The first one, minor correction. The second one should be from major correction. Some minor correction, some might have major correction, some might have no correction at all. So, but very, very few in this case. So most people, most students, they will have a minor correction. Some they have major correction. Major correction is depends. Some major correction, you need to do your major correction and need to be verified by the supervisor. That's it. Some major correction, need to be verified by external. Or some major correction need to be resubmission. Okay, without having any another Viva. Some major correction need to be revivals. So there are many parts, okay, of the verdict that you could expect, okay, from the Viva. Okay, minor correction, okay, major correction, some minor correction less than 3 months. Between 3 and 6 months is major correction. Between 6 to 12 months, major correction need to resubmit. So it's, you have to expect this thing, okay, before the Viva. Okay, and then think about what will and won't defend. This also very important. You have to think also about what you need to defend, what you need to not to defend. So what the point you need to defend, what the point you need to concede. Okay, that's it. Not everything come from your thesis you need to defend. Some is the idea might come from your examiners. They have very good ideas, so they want to advise you, and then sometimes you need to concede. Okay, you have to accept any revision, any results, or any advice from the examiners. But some you need to defend. So consider carefully what you will defend to the head, okay, the Viva, and what you are prepared to concede. It's important to define your argument about the originality of the thesis and its contribution to knowledge. So it's important. You might defend your argument in terms of originality of the thesis and its contribution to knowledge. However, there's no research is perfect and showing that you have considered what could have been done differently or even better is not a bad thing. Means that you're willing to accept any advice, any idea from your examiners. So they are there in order to help you to improve your thesis. So sometimes if the idea comes from the examiners, you need to consider just accept them. Okay. Thanks for the correction. Okay, thanks for the advice. So I will try to look at to the advice and then try to improve my thesis again. That's it. Okay, and then you have to expect unexpected things. Okay, no specific time period for the Viva as it depends on the minors and your performance. So you have to expect it for the unexpected. Maybe some Viva could for 1 hour, some may or more than 4 hours. So you need to expect, okay, expected. So if the Viva, let's say, take a longer hours, for example, more than 4 hours, so you need to be prepared. So make sure you need to have a good breakfast. Okay, during the Viva, the examiners will ask about many different aspects of your work to ensure the originality of your work. This is during the Viva. Almost 50 to 60% of the Viva actually come from this kind of question. Make sure you want to make sure the thesis come from your own idea. That's it. Okay, unsurprisingly, okay, sometimes a Viva could drag to a very long session, mostly due to fastidious examiners who are based on page-to-page basis. Okay, this is the reality. Some examiners they just refer to chapters, but some examiners they prefer to go page by page. So this is common practice. So I've been experienced many times about this one examiners. So they go page by page. This is very fastidious. Because they means that the examiners so really do their job well. Okay, if they go page by page, you need to be prepared. Okay, make sure once you have this kind of the name of the supervisor, the name of the examiners, you have to explore what kind of question to ask by this examiners. You can ask your friend, you can ask your supervisor, or you can ask, for example, any lecturers that have this kind of examiners in their Viva session. So don't shy to ask supervisor or any other lecturers about the characteristic of the examiners. Okay. And then also the next one is no need to be over prepared. So how long is one supposed to spend on the Viva preparation? Okay, given the importance of the examination, you might be tempted, okay, to think that longer the better. This is not necessarily the case. Okay, many PhD holders, okay, admitted that they regretted, okay, spending too much time on the preparation. To make sure, so don't over prepare means that you have to do some other things at the same time. So Don't try to read over and over again. So for the whole week, every day, every week, for example, you need also to do some other aspect in your life. Okay, 2 or 3 weeks on preparation seem enough. As you have been through the process for 3 to 4 years, nurse, you are expert in your chosen field. Okay, means that. So normally, so we ask our supervisor, for example, we tend to ask our supervisors to just prepare 3 weeks before the Viva. This is enough. Right? You have plenty of time to prepare in 3 weeks. So no need to prepare once you submit the thesis. You have 6 months, or no need to prepare the whole 6 months. So you just prepare at the end, okay, maybe the last month. So you should prepare instead of you spending all the time for yourself, because sometimes you expect, okay, suddenly you even you prepare everything, suddenly you already burn out during the Viva session. This is the thing that we have to avoid. Okay, you don't need to, okay, weeks in and week out in the additional study. Don't try to study every week. Okay. Okay, and then you can, okay, talk to the people who pass, okay, the Viva. You can ask your friend who just finished the Viva, ask them. So the way they prepare themselves, the way they answer, so the way they face as a minus, so in the Viva room, so you can ask them everything. So they will really to help you. So the views expressed by those who have successfully passed the Viva seems to share a similar tone. Okay, it's nothing to worry all about. So not as scary as you think it will be. Okay, it will be fine. So on. Okay, this is the thing. So once you ask your friend who just finished the Viva, they said, okay, no worry, to worry. So you just one half of the journey to get your PhD. These are the standard word used by uh, student who just finished the Viva. So, and then this in itself, okay, is quite reassuring. Okay, okay, talking to your friend, okay, let's okay about the experience, how it might give you some interesting insight too. Okay, this maybe we can pray and tawakal. This for Muslim people, they can pray for tawakal. Okay, do solat hajat, for them solat hajat. So every day asking for Allah, asking for help from Allah. Okay, and then you have to come down and do something fun. Okay, you have to be fresh on the day. Make sure during the day of the Viva, you are in good position, very good condition in terms of your health, in terms of physical. So physically, so you are in good condition. Okay, find a way to relax. Okay, yoga, running, or even video game, cycling, everything. Try to find anything that will help you a lot. So that you enjoy. Okay, and then bring a printed copy that's exactly the same as that of your examiners. This is the one of the important part. Okay, you need to bring your original thesis, original draft that you submitted before. Don't try to bring any version that totally different from the one you submitted to examiners. To ensure that you and your supervisor have a printed copy that is exactly the same as that of your examiners. So don't try to make new copy when you read the papers or when you read your thesis again. Okay, you notice some okay mistake, some errors, and then you do some correction on the same draft, and then you print out the new one. Don't try to do that. Bring the same copy, because as a minor we refer to the original copy, and then during the Viva session, if you have different copy, so might be a very huge problem for you to refer in terms of page number, in terms of maybe the contents of the thesis might differ from the one you submitted and the new one. Okay, mark with the tab. Okay, the key section, highlight the reference. Okay, important quotes and points you might want to refer to. It's normal. Okay, there is a chance as we slim that the examiner will wish to see more piece of experimental data, software, and other supporting evidence. So make sure there's some cases. So the examiners want to see the data. So even the candidates, PhD candidate, okay, PhD student manage, okay, to answer every question asked by examiners during the Viva. There are some cases. So in last year for okay UPSI, the examiners want to see the data because it quite according by examiners, the data provided by candidate actually is very tough to get, very difficult to get. Even the examiners have been through this kind of topic for many years, so they've experienced it's very hard to get this kind of data set. And suddenly the student they managed to get the data set. This is the question asked by examiners. Can you bring the data? Can I have the data set? But the, unfortunately, the student they cannot provide the data, and then student end up with major correction. Make sure, okay, you have everything. Just prepare. No need to show. Okay, just bring with you. If your examiners need the data, you can show to them. That's it. Okay, for the next one, we are going to discuss about what you should do. What you should do. Okay, this is the one of the main part. So of the session, apa yang perlu dilakukan? Okay, apa yang tak perlu dilakukan? So what you should do, what you should don't do during the Viva session. This way, okay, the result sometimes depends on the way you act during the Viva session. So during the Viva session, before we discuss about before the Viva session, now we discuss about during the Viva session. Because during the Viva, the verdict sometimes, the verdict of the Viva sometimes depends. So during the Viva session, okay, especially your attitude is important, and the wrong attitude may cost you the Viva. So during the Viva session, you need to be careful. So we already discussed, even you're already well prepared. Okay, before the Viva, you're already well prepared. You do everything to prepare the Viva. So you already know about your thesis, okay, from A to Z. So, but even you manage to publish the paper, okay, in highly indexed journal, Scopus, for example, ISI. But sometimes the verdict actually depends during the Viva session. So the way you act, the way you face with the examiners, the way you answer, the way you respond, so the way your attitudes during the Viva session I think is very important. A wrong attitude, okay, might cost you the Viva. So meaning that you might fail the Viva because of your attitude, not because of your thesis, not because of your knowledge, not because of the methodology. Sometimes depends on the way you respond to the during the Viva session. So for most of PhD students, the journey are not always smooth. Okay, sailing and lots of things went wrong, but many of them have ended up, okay, really enjoying the Viva. So these are PhD students. So many of PhD students, but I can say majority of the PhD students. So the journey are not always smooth. So they have to face, okay, one hurdle from another hurdle. Okay, they finish the part. Okay, they have to face another hurdle. So it's not okay bengkok. Okay, this is the PhD journal. But when it comes to the Viva session, so they can end up with a very enjoy. So very good result. So very minor correction. Even they face a very huge hurdle before the during the journey. So it depends how they interact with their examiners. So during the Viva session, how this could be possible? Okay, failing your Viva is very okay. Every doctoral student's worst nightmare, and for a small minority, it's a reality. So some PhD, very few PhD, they fail during the Viva session. Even they have very good thesis, they fail. So to convince the minors to award them degree of doctoral degree. So major revision, okay, resubmission, another Viva, but it's possible. So we have already discussed. So with major revision or resubmission is okay. So but for another Viva, it's very the last part that we want to avoid. Okay, how can it come to this? So major revision actually okay depends. A major revision normally need to be verified by external examiner. If we have two external, we need to be verified by both of them. And then resubmission, you have to resubmit your thesis again to be examined. okay, by external. But this sometimes no need to Viva. But for another Viva, meaning you need to receive the Viva again. You need to defend the Viva again. This is the worst scenario that we might to avoid as a student. So how can it come to this? The first one depends on during the Viva session. So you can do what you can do, what you don't. So during the Viva session, the first one, what you should do. Okay, be confident. Okay, be confident and honest. Try to be confident and honest during the Viva session. Always remember that you are the only one who know best what you're doing. Okay, this I have to remember. You are the one who really is expert in the field of study. So in the meeting room, in the Viva room. So the examiners, okay, have a little few times to read your thesis. You've been okay spending for many years. So this is what we call you are expert in your field of study. So there is nothing to worry. You must have confidence in your own ability, meaning that you have to confident. This come from your own thesis. The idea come from your own. Okay, the idea in the thesis come from your own. Okay, the thesis, the methodology have been okay extensively explored. Everything you have to confident. But at the same time, you try to be honest all the time during the Viva. Honest in terms of, for example, okay, jujur lah. If you don't know to answer what to answer, let the examiner know. Okay, if you don't know how to answer, how to respond, how to reply to the question asked by examiners, okay, let them know. Okay, don't try to answer even you don't know the answer. Don't try to do that. So try to be honest with them. Okay, if not aware about that, okay, try to tell them. Okay, so do not hesitate. Okay, to say, for example, I'm sorry, I'm not aware of that. Okay, I promise to look into this later. Okay, this is okay. The way you can respond to examiner if you not sure about the response. So try to tell them. Okay, maybe you can ask them. Okay, try to rephrase. Okay, the question again. I might not get so into your question. So they can rephrase again. Or if you not really know the answer, you can ask them, okay, can you go to the next question, for example, maybe we come back to this question again. If I remember, for example, okay, don't try to cheat. Don't try to give a false answer. Okay, don't try to create any answer that you are not really confident. So how to respond to the question. Okay. And then I mean for not just to survive. Okay, make an impression to the examiners that you deserve a doctorate degree. Means that if they ask question, you don't know, just tell them, okay, to be honest. Okay, honestly, I don't know the answer. Okay, it might, for example, okay, it might like this, blah, 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 blah. Okay, don't try to give any false answer and confidence. So this will allow examiner to make a very bad impression on you. The second one, you need to take your time. So before you speak or answer a question, take your time and do not rush. And then once supervisor or one examiner asks you, so you can okay have a little time to think. Don't try to respond quickly. Okay, meaning it's okay. Say some things that allow you to think about. For example, okay, this is a very good question. Thank you for asking this kind of question. Actually, it's a really good question. This allows you to think what would be the good response for the question. Or you could say, okay, I agree with you up to certain point. I agree with you, but okay, blah blah blah. This is the way we answer. Okay, and then there is no straightforward answer to the question to that question, or you can say, well, let me think again. Okay, this is the way you can answer. Okay, don't try to rush. Okay, responding. Okay, replying any question. So when they ask you, they want you to think about the question. So what would be the answer? So they don't mind if you take some time to reply to their own question. Okay, that's it. The next one, ask for suggestion and clarification. So if the examiners detect some flaws in your thesis, for example, you lose your research technique, ask them to propose a better one. Okay, do not be afraid to ask examiners to rephrase the question if you are not clear about it. Okay, these are for suggestion. For example, some of the this is the purpose of the examiners. The first one, they want to check whether the thesis come from your own. Okay, the second one, they want to improve the way you present the way you present the idea in your thesis. So some flaws of your thesis. Okay, you have to use technique that allow you to answer all of the research question easily. So you can ask them to propose a better one. So if this were the case, for example, okay, you can ask them, okay, if this were the case, could you advise us what kind of method we might use? So to apart from this method, so what kind of another method that we might use to answer the research question? Or you can say, okay, any suggestion you would like to uh, ask us to do? Okay, and the next one, do not be afraid, okay, to ask the examiners to rephrase the question. You are not clear about it. Okay, if you're not really clear about the question, so you can ask them again and again. Try ask them, okay, to rephrase the question as long as until you understand the question. So that asked by examiners. So don't try to answer directly, even you are not really clear about the question. Ask them. Be sure that you already understand the question. If you don't, okay, ask them to clarify. The next one, be humble. Okay, do not ever show the bad attitude and arrogance. You might know a lot about your projects and the subject area, but your success depends on examiner. You have to bear in your mind. Your success about your PhD, it depends on examiners because this is subjective. Subjective means that it's totally 100% depends on examiners. Examiners are the one who will pass or fail you. So try to be humble. Don't try to be arrogant. Okay, to show bad attitude. For example, as what happened to our candidate. Okay, last few months ago, last year or early this year. So he so rude. Okay, he asked examiners. He told examiners that you only spend 1 month or 2 months to read my thesis, but I've been spending for 4 years. And then he ended up with a major correction. Try to avoid this thing. Even you are in the right what we call the right party, so you have to make sure that be humble. So because your decision, your PhD journey depends on the minors. So be humble and answer any question nicely and carefully. Okay, remember, the examiner are supposed to be expert in the research area you do, so do not overlook their knowledge and capability. This is the thing. So, as I mentioned before, once you get the name of the your examiners, you have to read their own research, their own journal. So try to find out what kind of the topic, what kind of the issue. So it used to be raised, okay, by responded by examiners in the thesis in the journal. So because the examiner mostly they are really expert in the field of study. Don't try to overlook, okay, to look down okay, the knowledge and capabilities. Okay, the next thing is about don't point out your own weaknesses. Avoid shooting yourself in the foot by highlighting the weaknesses or in the thesis by being over humble saying okay. Means that don't try to point out any weaknesses of the thesis that you counter. So when you read your thesis, okay, you aware, you notice some errors. Maybe some error come from the objective, some error come from the finding, some error come from the uh, methodology part. Just be aware, okay, but don't bring out this kind of weaknesses in the thesis. Okay, just be prepared. So if examiners raise this question and then you can reply to them. If they don't raise these issues, okay, let it go. Okay, so remember you say, okay, what if okay, fail to achieve or did not manage to carry out the robustness manner, okay, don't try to say like that. Okay, this thing, try to avoid. If the examiner's not aware about the mistake, that's okay. But if they're aware, you have to give a response. But try to avoid, okay, bring the mistake, okay, in the Viva session. Okay, leave to that to the examiner to pick up in their readings. They don't need to have, okay, any help from you. Most student, okay, some of the student, so when they notice some mistake, okay, they tend to tell the examiners during the Viva session. Okay, normally some student, okay, they okay, prof, okay, this the new part of the chapter 3. Okay, this one I noticed some mistake, and then this is the new one I already corrected. Don't do like that. Okay, if you like that, means that they will explore another issues that related to the error. Okay, this is what you should do. Okay, during the Viva session. And then the next one, you should avoid, okay, doing this kind of attitude during the Viva session. The first one, provide answer with a question. This is most student. They tend to use this. They tend to use this kind of attitude. When the examiners ask you something, they expect you to answer, not to reply to any question. So, for example, so you don't okay. Do not answer it with another question. If they ask you certain question, just reply to them. Don't try to divert this question to another question. For example, if the examiners ask you, why do you choose this method over another method? And then you respond again. What's wrong with the model? What's wrong with the method? Why use this model? For example, why use this model instead of another model? And then try to avoid asking or replying using this kind of sentence. What's wrong with the model? This is reality. So some students, they try to use this kind of phrase to answer. I think this method is really good instead of another method. This is not the way you answer. You have to provide to justify why you choose this method over another method. So don't try to say, okay, this method is very good compared to the method. Oh, what's wrong with this model, that model? Okay, avoid using this one. Okay, the second one about it, don't try to mention your supervisor. Okay, some Viva candidates tend to point, okay, fingers, okay, at the supervisor when they got stuck or panic. Okay, this is the reality. So when they ask supervisor or when examiners ask them why they choose this method, okay, normally come from the chapter 3. Why you use this method? For example, PLS or SAM or regression. Why you use this method regression? Because we already noticed there are many methods available that could be used that fits with your research question, and then they fail to answer. And then they tell, okay, this method actually is proposed by my supervisor. Don't say like that. Don't try to relate your answer with your supervisor. Supervisor only here to help you. This is how supervisor, okay, they will assist you, they will guide you. So which method you could be used. You are the one who have the final say. So why you choose this method? So supervisor only give you some advice, some guidance. Okay, if you use this method, okay, this subject to blah blah. If you this method, that method, okay, this very good. But instead they have some limitation. This the point of from point of view of supervisor. So they would rather put the blame on their supervisor than okay acknowledge the mistake. So this is what my supervisor proposed to use. I've already discussed with my supervisor, okay? And then my supervisor said, they don't try to use this one because this is your thesis. So your thesis should come from your own. Supervisor only help you. Okay, you have the one, okay, who have the final decision to choose which method more appropriate for the objective of the study. So try to avoid this one. Okay, okay. Mostly they said, okay, most student, if they face this kind of question, they tend to relate to the supervisor. Okay, my supervisor actually asked me to do this. Okay, I wanted to do that one. Okay, but my supervisor insists this method should, okay, is more useful. Don't try to say like that. Okay. Okay, then intercept the examiner's question of statement. Okay, for this one, let the examiners finish the question or statement and do not intercept. Means that we have to give the supervisor. Okay, good examiners finish their question in the first place. And then after they finish the question, you can ask them. If not really clear, okay, you can ask them to rephrase. So let the examiner finish the question or statement and do not intercept. Okay, this might lead to a wrong answer or misinterpretation of the question. This also some experience, okay, in the past. So some of the students, so they tend to interrupt. So there is examiner's question. The examiner, okay, they are in the middle, okay, of the question, and then suddenly the student interrupt, give the response quickly. Okay, don't try to do this because you might assume, you might misunderstood about the question raised by examiners. Okay, and then the same time they might give bad impression about you among examiners. Furthermore, the action, okay, the action will be considered rude, okay, or impolite by the examiners. Okay, and then being over defensive. You are defending your thesis in a scholarly sense, not in court. Okay, don't try to being, okay, over defensive. Terlalu defense. Semua tak boleh. So, semua apa yang dibuat dalam tesis perfect. Okay, don't try to do like that, okay? Because tesis subject to defend, okay, oral viva. So define approach in which you are explaining what you did and why, but acknowledge that there are some alternative. Meaning that sometimes you have to defend, sometimes you have to concede. Because some of the approach you are explaining in your thesis actually very good, but at the same time you have to acknowledge that even this method is very good, but they also have another method, alternative method that might be used. Okay, don't try to be over defensive. Your technique, your use in your study, your methodology, okay, your research method in your study. Okay, the next one, okay, don't try to show confidence over another. Okay, showing too much confidence is not a good thing, but lack of confidence is not good either. You need to understand, okay, sometimes you have to confident, sometimes you have to, okay, moderate. Okay, don't try to be overconfident. Lack of confidence is also not good. Okay, better to be the modest, okay, and prepare well for your viva. So you have every reason to feel in control. Okay, itu kita tengok. And the last one about these are inhibition, okay, you need to overcome. Finding difficult to talk about your thesis by focusing on your work, okay, strengths, and also by looking at it as objectively as possible. Okay, some student, PhD or master degree student, they are good in writing. So the written thesis actually is very good, easy to understand. But when it comes to oral presentation, they have no idea how to talk. They don't know how to start. So how to talk, how to speak about the thesis. These are big issues because it will give a bad impression. Okay, bad impression in terms of the examiners might, okay, expect that the thesis, okay, could be written by other students, could be written by other parties, and then how you could, okay, defend your thesis. So if your thesis already mentioned all the point already mentioned in the thesis, this is try to talk. Okay, you have to be prepared. So before going for viva, you need to talk. Okay, do some mock viva. For example, UPSI. That's why for UPSI, we have the first one. You have to defend your proposal. When you already passed the proposal, the next stage you have to defend the result. Okay, after the result, maybe some faculty they have mock viva. So you can have mock viva. You can ask your supervisor to arrange for mock viva. So allow you, okay, to make you convenience. So how you defend, how you throw out your ideas, how you share your ideas, with your supervisor, with your potential examiners and many things. Okay. Okay, being over, okay, anxieties. Okay, feel nervous is common. Okay, this is common. Every student. So nervous is a part of the journey, but too nervous, okay, can hamper your performance if not controlled. Try to avoid, okay, and just, okay. Best way practicing, okay, answer, making sure that you are thoroughly, okay, familiar with your thesis. You have to be practice. Okay, that's for the Viva session. Okay, bagaimana nak menjawab Viva dengan yakin? Okey, nak menjawab Viva dengan yakin ni maksudnya yang pertama you kena pastikan okey, anda tahu apa yang anda buat. Apa yang ditulis dalam tesis come from your own idea. Okey, itu yakin. Confident. Confident means that you're willing to answer. Okay? If examiner asks you specific question, so you're willing to answer that kind of question and you are clear about the answer. If you are not really clear, meaning you are not confident, try to ask examiner, asking respondent about to rephrase, okay, about the question, or try to give time, okay, for you to answer. Or maybe you can ask them, okay, can we go to the next question? So I'm not really confident about this one. Okay, we can come back later to answer for this question. You can ask them. You are allowed to do so. So this is yakin. Yakin meaning you have to practice. Practice with your friend, practice with your supervisor. Okay, you have to mock Viva, for example. Okay, before the Viva, maybe you before you practice, the first thing you mesti khatam. Okay, you need to understand about your thesis. Okay, from A to Z, and then you can go for practice. Don't practice without having deep knowledge about your thesis. Practice come from after you manage to to master your thesis. Okay, and then you can practice, and then you can communicate with your friends. Okay, apakah ciri-ciri gagal? Sekali yang bawa kepada keputusan gagal. Okay, keputusan gagal. Okay, majoriti datang daripada metod yang digunakan tidak betul. Okay, bagi menjawab persoalan. You use wrong method to answer the research question. Okay, the first one, normally method. Okay, and then your method is not consistent. Okay, meaning that your result is not robust. So your result is not reliable. Your result is not consistent with previous studies. This is one part of the how we students tend to fail in their Viva. So they fail to answer, they fail to justify. So their result from chapter 4. Even satu lagi come from the data. Boleh juga keadaan gagal. Kebanyakan gagalnya daripada data tak support. Data yang dikutip ataupun adalah tidak mampu untuk menjawab persoalan kajian. Terlalu banyak isu-isu berkaitan dengan data. That's why once sudah dapat data tersebut, you kena buat reliability test. Okay, in terms of data, in terms CPA, component principal analysis, everything you need to do. Data set in terms normality. So data yang penting. So kegagalan data akan menyebabkan kegagalan you punya journey. Okay, method. Data okay. If you're wrong in terms of the research method, okay, we need your research method to fail. Okay, fail to answer the research question. So you can modify a research question that tally to the research method. That's okay. Okay, but if your research method, okay, you fail to answer the research method, meaning that your result, your finding, your methodology is not robust, then it could subject to fail. Okay, itu yang takut. Memang kegagalan akan menjadi yang takut. Yang paling, even pelajar sanggup revival asalkan tak gagal. Pelajar sanggup resubmission asalkan tidak gagal. Okay. Gagal juga bermaksud bahawa you fail to communicate. So during the Viva session, they will, the examiners, okay, will have a bad impression about the originality of your thesis. Whether your thesis come from your own, you ask somebody to do that. So there are some one student also in the past. So they ask other people, other students to do their thesis on behalf of him. He failed to answer any question to during the Viva. Yes, okay. I have heard, okay, that before Viva, the Viva results has already been there. Since the examiners have already evaluated, okay, the thesis. Yes, that's correct. This is the purpose of the Viva. So the result actually, the verdict of the Viva actually already, okay, completed. Okay, already done, already known by the committee. Okay. Once you submit the thesis, okay, they have some verdict. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 different verdicts. Okay, that could be applied to your research. So it depends on the examiners. So and then even the examiners, they already have the result, but they can change. Normally they change the result during the Viva session because some of the research, the thesis you presented in the thesis, the idea presented in the thesis is not really clear. So that's why the result based on the reading. But if you can defend your Viva, maybe some of the student, they can defend okay very well. They can speak very well. They can defend very well compared to the written the thesis. Okay, and then this might change the result. There are many occasions. Okay, the result already changed. So in the middle of the Viva or the end of the Viva. So because supervisor examiners, okay, they will consider the final version of the Viva. So the way you present the Viva, the way you present your ideas, the way you define your methodology is actually really helpful in order for them to allow them to change the decision. Yes, that's true. So of course, any Viva even all over the world, the results already there. Okay, this the chance for you. That's why chance for you to defend, to change the result. That's why you depends. Okay, the way you act, the way you behave during the Viva, so it will help you to change the result. So you have to be careful. So you are given second chance apart from the thesis, reading the thesis. So you are given a second chance to defend your oral, defend your idea, defend your thesis.